Hello, hello, hello tout le monde. Salam alaikum. معكم Salima Belouadi, la fondatrice de la plateforme Algerian Challengers. Nous sommes désolés parce qu'on a eu beaucoup de soucis techniques. Mais on est prête donc pour lancer le live de ce soir. كما على بالكم Algerian Challengers, c'est une plateforme dédiée à offrir des opportunités pour les jeunes Algériens. Mais aujourd'hui, nous avons quelque chose de spécial, c'est que le live sera en anglais parce que nous allons traiter une bourse donc, qui est offerte par les États-Unis parce que aussi c'était le souhait de notre invité. So today or tonight we're gonna have our first Facebook Live in English. So my name is Salima Belwedi. I'm the founder of the platform Algerian Challengers, which is dedicated to the Algerian youth, especially. So what we do is that we gather different opportunities as when it comes to scholarships, volunteering, job offers, so all what concerns education, employment, volunteering, and entrepreneurship in Algeria and abroad. So on this note, we have a very interesting guest with us today, and she is a former Fullbright scholar in 2017. Her name is Sabrina Halli. She's an engineer, a petroleum engineer in Sonatrach, and she holds a master in geology. And she's here with us in order to share her experience with you. So we will just listen to what she's gonna tell us. And if you have any questions, just type them on the comment and we will try to answer. So without letting you wait more, let me welcome my honorable guest, Sabrina Halli. Hello, Sabrina.
Hello, Selima. Thank you for inviting me, and hello, everyone. Thank you for our audience to joining us. So my name is Sabrina Halli, as Selima mentioned. I'm a petroleum engineer working in a state company called Sonatrach, based in Algeria, and I'm a geology instructor as well and a Fulbright scholar. So we welcome you again, and we do apologize for the delay because of technical issues. And
Exactly.
it is my pleasure to share with you my experience as a Fulbright scholar. The least I can say, it was a transformational experience on many levels, academically, professionally, and personally as well. And Selima, if you give me permission, I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Nice. Do you see my screen? Selima, can you confirm that you are seeing my screen and that you are hearing me?
I can see the first slide of your screen, Sabrina.
Okay, so I'm going to start now. So the first slide of my presentation shows a picture of the Fulbright students in 2018 that was in a city called Philadelphia. And the city also holds the name of the city of brotherly and sisterly love. It's a very pleasant city because when you walk in the street, you can see flags hanging on the street, and one of them is from your country. So you really have this feeling of belonging. And by the way, my university in the US, Oklahoma State University, did the same thing. So that was really welcoming. This is a picture, as I said, of the Fulbrighters during an enrichment Fulbright
Mm-hmm.
program. And we were volunteering for an organization called Art Sphere Incorporation, which gives services to children. And the outline that I'm going to follow is as mentioned on the screen. So I'm going to start talking about the Fulbright Foreign Student Program, and then the objective from the Fulbright program, the Fulbright program offering in terms of grant, what does the grant cover, and the requirement that you shall have in order to apply for the scholarship. Then I will talk about the Fulbright experience and how to succeed in your application. Then I will wrap up by answering your questions. So, what's the Fulbright Foreign Student Program? It's an international exchange program sponsored by the US government. It means that the US State Department is going to give you money in order to do your research or to complete your master degree. And which
Mm-hmm.
is interesting is that we have exchange, which means it's a give and take. So you are going to the US to gain knowledge, and you will contribute by sharing your thoughts and your ideas. And I would really encourage students, if you are working with one of your professors here in Algeria on an interesting topic, you may take this topic and develop it in the US. Professors there are very interested into a collaborative work. And this will allow us to live up to the value of
Mm-hmm.
the Fulbright program, which is an exchange program. So, what are the objectives of this program? First of all, it's to increase mutual understanding between the two countries, Algeria and the US. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the US, this country is going to reveal to you or show like a new cultures, values, and you have to have this flexibility in order to understand that the same things can be done in different ways. So, secondly, this will allow you to pursue a master's degree in the United
Mm-hmm.
States. Now, what are the offering of the Fulbright grant? The Fulbright grant or scholarship is going to cover your tuition and fees for the master degree that you are pursuing, and this will encompass money for to buy book and equipment, a monthly stipend. It's a salary for paying for your room and the board, like all the furniture that you need into this room. And it will also cover your health insurance expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And you will have an opportunity to participate to an enrichment Fulbright seminar, exactly like the first picture that I showed you previously.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Sabrina, but I kind of have some messages from people who are viewing this live that they cannot see at the same time as us the presentation. So you
Oh
can just
no.
carry on. Yeah, maybe I have maybe some technical problems on the Be Live
Oh,
TV platform. So you just carry on, but just to maybe we can
okay.
just send pictures, or you can send it to me later, and I try to share it at the same time. So
Sure,
just carry.
absolutely. Yeah, we do apologize for this. Okay, so what are the requirements of the Fulbright Foreign Student Program? Like
Mm-hmm.
what you need um, to have in order to apply. But before I would carry on, um, please, Selima, would you mind checking with our audience if I'm going at a slow pace that enable them to understand? Because like sometimes I go fast.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you were going so fast, they would have mentioned it in the command,
Okay, great.
but I can check again. Um, so is the rhythm okay for everybody? So
Uh-huh.
if you want Sabrina to go slower than that, just let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, please just go ahead.
Okay, so I was talking about the requirements to apply for the Fulbright program. So first of
Okay.
all, you need to have a bachelor degree or its equivalent, and
Mm-hmm.
then you need a strong academic background. But
Mm-hmm.
then do not let this stop you from applying to the Fulbright scholarship, because there are ways to make up for this if you think that your grades need improvement. Then, thirdly, you need to have leadership abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to highlight that all students have leadership abilities, and I saw this during my interaction with them. They are just neither not aware of their potential in
Mm-hmm.
leadership, or they didn't get a chance to practice this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have any doubt, you can contact Selima. She has a very rich program through Algerian Challengers, and will bring out this for you. So the fourth point is to speak English um, fluently.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I don't want students think about themselves that they don't have the skills to
Mm-hmm.
speak in English, because you all, with practice, you'll become better. And this
So
is what
true.
yeah. And I can tell you something that when I was um, at the place of the students, like, my English wasn't as good as theirs. So
Mm-hmm.
don't let this intimidate you. We all know that English is not your first language of education, and
Mm-hmm.
all you need is a practice. And we have a lot of resources that may allow you to improve your English exactly like I am doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like also to talk about my Fulbright experience. So this allowed me to do a lot of things. First of all, is to tie long-lasting relationship. And I'm really sorry that they can't see the pictures, because I have beautiful, beautiful pictures from our gathering with the Fulbright students from
Mm-hmm.
all over the world. Like, we had students from Iraq, Myanmar, Indonesia, Colombia, Angola, Malawi. It was really like an interesting experience. And I got a chance to meet students from different nationality as well. And it's really good when we gather together and we
Sure.
share food. Like, for instance, I have a friend of mine. Her name is Elena, and she's from Colombia, and they have this particular dessert which is called guava. And you got to taste exotic
Sure.
dessert fruits, so it's really like an enriching experience.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, we got the chance to establish professional contacts.
Mm-hmm.
So I participate in a lot of seminars and trainings during my time in Oklahoma State University, with different departments at that university. And I got a chance to meet Brianna, Joshua, Victor Bayaza, Ajo, Dr. Johns, Bob, James, and Tyler. They are all on my slides.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this allowed me, when I came back here into my home country, to reach out to them. When, with my students, we initiated the English Conversation Club, and they responded positively. And they did like a lot of workshop with my students, which was really beneficial to them. And I have testimonies from my students. Like, one of them was saying that was a great experience. Um, this student improved their soft skills and got a chance to practice English with Americans, and then this helped to inspire them, build self-confidence, and to expand their knowledge. They also they felt supported by the guest speakers from the U.S., and that helped them to define a better vision and to set new goals. The next testimony from the second student says, it was the best experience ever. So they met professionals from the US who inspire them, and they got answers to their questions, and they have the chance to share their thoughts with a great deal of flexibility, which boosted their confidence. And
Sure.
the students keep on, and the letter is long, but I have it all on my slide that I can share with you later.
Yeah, sure,
And it says,
sure. We will share them later for sure. We will try to
yeah,
like do another video maybe on our YouTube channel and just post it again on our Facebook page
yeah,
so that people won't miss the, because we are more visual, you know. We like to see the pictures and the group of people that were during the Fulbright program and see the different nationalities. So it's gonna be very useful if you can share with us later and we can just put it together into a video.
absolutely. And don't worry about this, Salima, because I got all the names with the pictures
Okay.
and the
Sure.
titles, the position. So yeah, that they will catch up with everything. So
Great.
these students carried on his letter and said that was a one in a lifetime experience. The third testimony that I got said that the English Conversation Club was the best thing that happened to them. They learned effective communication, how to express ideas and thoughts without stress, debating techniques, which improve them as a person.
Yeah.
And now they got a chance to know better colleagues and build a strong relationship. So it was also about nurturing camaraderie within the group, which is something very important. The last letter from one of the students says, English Conversation Club was a unique experience. We had guest speakers from the US, which was a great source of information and motivation. They got a chance also by mingling virtually with their classmates to discover beautiful side of their colleagues, especially the funny side. I agree
Nice.
with you.
Nice.
And sometimes we would celebrate, the birthdays of the group of
Hmm.
students online. So that was really like a funny experience and worthy. Then, so besides establishing professional contacts, you'll
Hmm.
get a chance to develop collaborative research relationship with US scholars. And this is exactly what I'm showing on my slide, like picture of me on a field trip with my advisor, Dr. Puckett, to whom I'm saying hi because he promised to tune in. And we were on the field trip, like we were studying chert reservoir, which is a kind of rock that bears hydrocarbons, and this
Okay.
is like a significant study because it's considered something new here in Algeria. So we
Hmm.
can extend this research and investigate those kind of reservoirs here and reach out to my contacts in the US. I'm also showing in the next slide the team of OSU, Oklahoma State University laboratories, which were really helpful. People want you to succeed and they would do the best they could. Like, for instance, I just want to share a story. One time there was a flooding, and the
Hmm.
bus couldn't stop exactly next to the laboratory. So we had the manager of Oklahoma State Laboratory send in Brent, her colleague, to pick me up from a station and to bring me. So really, like, I appreciated all the help that I got
Hmm.
from them. So now I'm going to talk about a crucial point, which is how to increase your chances of acceptance within the
Mm-hmm.
Fulbright scholarship. So, for instance, if you think that you have low grades, I don't want you to panic because you have ways to compensate this. The Fulbright board, like people who are going to study your application, are not going only to look at your grades because
Mm-hmm.
you are more than your grades. They are going to look at your application as a whole. So for instance, if you don't have excellent GPA or grades, you can
Mm-hmm.
compensate with your scores in the GRE or TOEFL, and these are standard international exams. There is another way you can compensate or make up for your grades is by showing strong references like letters of recommendation from your professors. So this
Mm-hmm.
will play a major role in your application. And there is also like a masterpiece, which is called a personal statement, which is a written essay that you will write to describe your achievement and your interest. And I would strongly advise students to be aware of the way you should write this personal statement. Because
Mm-hmm.
as I said, it's a masterpiece in your application. Challenges, you are planning to do trainings and workshops to talk about all this, right?
Mm-hmm. I can hear
Okay.
you.
And something else that Okay, thank you for confirming. Something else that will help, will boost your application is to have work experience or leadership skills. And like leadership skills, the fact of communicating clearly your vision is considered as a leadership skills.
Sure.
The fact that you are continuously looking to learn new things, this is leadership skills. Or even knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Self-awareness is considered as leadership skills. Also, I would strongly advise students to be active in the scientific clubs or organizations within their universities, or for instance, have roles in within your group. Teamwork, putting people together, or being the representative of undergrad student or grad student. All this will fall into the category of leadership
Mm-hmm.
skills. Next point I would like to talk about is what if you think that your English needs improvement?
Mm-hmm.
One more time. I think that we all are at the same level regarding English because,
Mm-hmm.
as I have mentioned before, it's not our first language of education. So, for sure, like we feel like sometimes embarrassed to talk in English because we are afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And this may hamper our way to improve um, our English. So I would advise students not to be afraid to make mistakes. And I had a professor in English, who used to say, if you'd like to talk in English, just open your mouth,
Yeah.
and everything comes with practice. We say like
Sure.
practice makes it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of resources. I know that there are podcasts you can listen to because the way you may look at it is English, it's exactly when you learned Arabic or French. Like your
Mm-hmm.
parents literally didn't take you by your hands and show you rules to apply in order to talk in Arabic or French. You just pick this up from listening. So
Yeah.
I would recommend to students or anyone else who would like to learn English, to get exposure, like for instance, if you would like to listen to the news, or you'd like to listen to anything like music, let's say, um, choose to do it in English. And don't worry if you don't understand the first time, because this will come with practicing and spaced repetition.
Mm-hmm.
I know also that Algerian Challengers is preparing like a session in order to give tips in this regard to
Mm-hmm.
students who are interested in
Sure.
improving their English. Also, I know that the U.S. Embassy had created the American Institute.
Mm-hmm.
Students will have to pay a small fee, I guess, but they will have a chance to practice their English with Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something good. Like, this is really a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Or
Thank you so much
podcasts, like
for.
I mentioned.
Sorry to interrupt you. Excuse my
Mhm.
interruption. Is that people? Well, mostly the Algerian youth. Not, most of them are like very easily learning the English language, and they like. I think they kind of use it a lot, whether on their social media platforms, on Instagram or on Facebook, when they post or when they comment. They listen to music in English. They watch maybe movies
Yeah.
in English. So this is a good point that you have just highlighted right now. Is that they don't have to think that the fact that they do not master or they don't talk fluently English can restrain them from applying to such programs. So yeah, that's a good advice that you have just given to them. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Salima. Shall I carry on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up with final thoughts, and this is like a picture that I took from the office of my advisor, Dr. Puckett, and it's a quote from Calvin Coolidge. It's talking, I'm not going to read everything, but they will get a
Mhm.
chance to do it later. And it's talking about persistence. And this is exactly what you need in order to accomplish anything you are aspiring to. So
Mhm.
I would encourage students to move forward and to be persistent and to put in hard work. So now this is the end of my presentation, and I'll take any question.
All right, thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm sure we will get more questions. Let me just check on the comments if we can take some of them.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have one question here.
Okay.
Um, can you see the question?
Let me see.
What are the skills to be accepted in the program?
Say it again, please.
What are the skills to be accepted in the program?
Okay, so as I mentioned in my presentation before, you need to demonstrate first that you have proficiency in English and
Mm-hmm.
abilities in leadership, and then a strong academic background. And there are also like letters of recommendation that
Mm-hmm.
you may provide. This will strengthen your application. Work experience too will play a major role in your application for the Fulbright program. But I will like really emphasize on the leadership skills, and as I said, the ability to put people together in order to achieve common goals, flexibility, um, listening skills, which is very important, the way you communicate with people, and if the way also you communicate your ideas.
Okay, thank you for answering, Sabrina. We have another question here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm supposed it is showing on your screen as well. So, what is your most marking memory with Fulbright program?
Okay, so the most marking memory in my Fulbright program was definitely the fact that I had this opportunity to meet a lot of people from a different background
Mhm.
and different nationality. As I said, it's like, you are traveling to these
Exactly.
far country virtually because they got to share with you their culture
Mhm.
and culinary skills. This is something important.
Sure.
We had like Chinese food, Indian food, and it was just a blessing, to mingle with all those people.
Sure.
And also knowing I am not like a very outgoing person, so in terms that I didn't travel much, and my travels were in a professional goals. But I have to say that during while traveling for instance, to attend to seminars, I got a chance to meet a lot of professionals with
Mhm.
whom I'm still keeping in touch, and that was very enriching for me. And I could like share this knowledge with my students. So I guess this was something which really marked my stay in the U.S.
Nice. There is another question here. Well, you can just share with us how did you prepare for the Fulbright interview? Because I guess that before you get, I mean, in the process of selection, there might be
Uh-huh.
some interviews that you made, and how does it go, and how can a person prepare in advance for this kind of interviews?
Okay, so this is a very good question. And Salima, what do you think? We should definitely organize a workshop covering this point. This,
Yeah, absolutely.
uh-huh. And the way I organize like this kind of interviews is really I will research what kind
Mm-hmm.
of a question I may
Mm-hmm.
have. And in order to be able to try and figure out the kind of questions that you may have, you may also understand the vision of the Fulbright program, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I started by explaining what is the objective of the Fulbright program, like increasing mutual understanding, diversity, and also foster cross cultural exchange.
Exchange.
So you will go to an environment who has different culture,
Mm-hmm.
and you will have to adapt, to be flexible. So this is maybe something that it's going to be asked during an interview, to check if you have this flexibility to adapt quickly into a new environment, right?
Yeah.
um, this is a point. A second point is we've said this is a scholarship to allow you to pursue a master's degree in the US. So, what do you need to accomplish a master's degree?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we would like people who are passionate or passionate
Mm-hmm.
uh, with research, right? And motivated, people who will demonstrate critical thinking and
Yeah.
show the ability to work independently, right? So this is a crucial point. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I would advise that because in general, people, the panel who is going to interview you, um, they are really relaxed and very easy to communicate with. I would like suggest to do a preparation, like literally take a paper and a pen
Exactly.
and write down all the possible questions that you
Yeah.
may have and prepare the answers. And the way I'd like to point this out, because one of the major difficulties that we face when we talk in English is that we first think in Arabic or in French, depending on your background, and then we try to translate our thoughts
Sure.
into English. So the fact that you are going to practice will enable you to talk more fluently.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good advice. Is that when you learn a new or foreign language, the thing that they always tell us is that do not think in your native language and then try to
Uh,
translate. You have to think in that new or foreign language and then just do mistakes, and one time after the other you will just get better through time. So that's a precious advice. Thank you, Sabrina. I don't know if you maybe we have a couple of few minutes to answer more questions if you agree. um, so um, So does internship experiences or extracurricular experiences and volunteering count in the application? I think you already mentioned it, but
Oh,
you can. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, it's very important. Absolutely. I'm just seeing a question. It says, what did you mean with strong academic background?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I meant like having good grades. But again, I don't want this to prevent you from applying to the Fulbright program because when I interacted with students, I could hear them having concerns with this regard. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, the Fulbright board, they will judge your application not only upon grades, but they will
Mm-hmm.
take all the piece the all the application that they have in order to compensate for your grades. So if you think, for instance, that your GPA is low and you have, for instance, a very good recommendation letters from your professors or even from the professional field, this will count. You can also make up for low grades with very good scores in the GRE and TOEFL tests, and so forth. So
Okay.
really don't worry about this.
All right. So I think we'll take two more questions and then we can. Um,
Uh,
and here I have a question.
mhm.
How can I? Yeah. How can I select three universities from thousands of universities in America? I have no idea how to search.
Okay, this is a good question. So, in order to apply for one university in the US,
Mm-hmm.
you need, first of all, to know exactly what you want, like
Exactly.
the field of study. And
Mm-hmm.
just type your field of study, and you will have a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up, you may, for instance, like go to the website of this university and check exactly the one which is addressing your
Mm-hmm.
field of study. And then look at the professor background to see if his research interest matches with what you want to do once in the US. And this will serve as a basis for the Fulbright people in order to apply on your behalf. Because you are going to make suggestions
Mm-hmm.
and they will take into consideration your suggestions and work them out in order to find for you the best university that would fit and
Yeah.
would suit your endeavors. So, is it clear? Or may I elaborate more on this?
Well, I think You answered the question partially, but as you said, uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Go
a
ahead.
broad subject, and you and I maybe will definitely need to organize some other workshop, or maybe on Zoom, or we do another live to put ourselves in the position of somebody who's applying for a Fulbright program, and then just do all the steps with the so that people may have a clearer idea of how it works. Um, we will be taking I think the last question here. Are there any preferred majors to study in the program?
Okay, so all the majors count. I think that the Fulbright will welcome any major except medicine. That's the
Okay,
only restriction. Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
You're
I have one other question here. Can you tell us about the challenges that you face as now you are sharing with us your Fulbright experience? Did you face any hard times? Did you face any challenges when you came to the US and when you started like a 2 years master degree? Tell us a little bit, what was the most difficult part? Was it the studies? Was it the coping with this new culture? Um,
welcome.
yeah.
So definitely the studies were not a problem because you are going to be surrounded by professors and professionals who want you to succeed, and they will do their best for
Mhm.
you uh, to um, uh, to complete your degree. As for me, from my personal experience, I guess the most challenging part was regarding English, because even though I thought of myself that my English was good, but once I was in the US, it was
Mhm.
something else because I couldn't understand the accent. So I was like, oh goodness, I am never going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
And I had concerns, how can I understand my lectures? And especially that sometimes, you have similar words between French and English,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's written the same way, but the pronunciation is completely different.
Different.
And
Yeah.
one of the words, and I really like this example that I'm going to give you, is about hierarchy. So when I say hierarchy, it will never come to your mind that in French
Hierarchy.
is hiérarchie. So
Hierarchy.
simple, but
Yeah.
exactly, but it's not pronounced the same. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like many examples like this, and sometimes it's really funny because in English you have long vowels and short
Yeah.
vowels, and
Mm-hmm.
if you do a short sound, a short sound, let's say, instead of a long one, the meaning is going to be completely different. And that was really like funny the first time. But what I did is just I open up with my advisor about this, and I
Mm-hmm.
asked my professors permission to record the lessons. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to read a lot because with reading you are going to familiarize yourself
Sure.
with concepts, but then you have also to match those words with what
Mm-hmm.
you listen. And with this, like, don't isolate yourself, because most of the time when when a situation like makes us afraid, we have this tendency to try to avoid this uncomfortable situation. This is what I tell my student is get out of your comfort zone. If there is something that makes you afraid, that means that this is exactly the thing that you should do. So mingle with people, get exposure one more time uh, with um, with English and everything like
Mm-hmm.
relating to English, and just allow yourself some time, because there are things which will get better as time
Yeah, sure.
passes, and with good practice as well. Like, don't be impatient, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes too, like, we tend to focus on
Mm-hmm.
all the gaps that we have, but we don't realize all the gains that we from which we benefited from a particular situation.
Sure.
So as I, I say to my student, keep a positive mind. You're doing great and your English is great. Don't think about yourself that your English is a second language. This is the language most of my students are really very good in English. And this is something they should be proud of.
Sure. Sure. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina. I think you have already delivered the message. I was about to ask you if you have like a message to address to the Algerian young people who would like to apply for the Fulbright program. But if you want to add something, just please go ahead before we end up this live.
Okay, thank you. I would say simply, like, do not think that you are missing this or missing that, because
Hmm.
most of the challenges that students are facing is self-doubt. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes they
Mhm.
will think by themselves, oh, I don't have the skill to apply for the Fulbright scholarship. Oh, my English is not good enough. Or, oh, I need improvement in this area, so this is definitely not for me. The Fulbright scholarship is for you. But, like, put in the work, and you can succeed whatever you put your mind into it.
Mhm.
I am really I'm confident about all the students because I had really great interaction with them. They are very smart, brilliant, and active on many levels. And people here are here to support you and
Yeah.
to help you to realize your dreams. So just, like, reach out whenever you need help, but don't think about yourself that, oh, you don't have the skill to
Mhm.
apply for the Fulbright. You got everything you need.
You got this, as the Americans say, right? You got
Yeah,
this. Thank you so much, Sabrina, for
exactly,
all
exactly.
these
Thank you,
enthusiastic
Selima.
advices, and thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure we will get back to you very soon to organize maybe more sessions when it comes to training or workshops. Thank you for the people who were here tonight to watch our Facebook Live. Don't hesitate to go to our Facebook page to see if there are any news regarding the following or the next live that we will be doing. And on our website, algerianchallenges.com, where you will find other opportunities abroad, like the Fulbright program. So, all I can say is thank you again, Sabrina. I hope
Thank
we talk
you for
very soon.
inviting me, Selima.
You're welcome.
Say it again,
Take good
please.
care of you.
Thank you, and thank you all for tuning in. And again, thank you, Selima, for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye. Bye, all.
Goodbye.